Hello and welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper podcast. In today's podcast, we are going to look at how to use a price leader to grow your practice. And in fact, I am going to demystify those cheap offers that you've seen out there that get bookkeepers quite upset and concerned, and rightly so. But the bottom line is that they are probably just price leaders, which I'm going to explain in this podcast. I am so excited about this podcast because it clears up a lot of confusion around cheap offers that you're seeing out there from bookkeepers and accountants. And my hope is that this will give you clarity and control so you can take a breath and think, oh my goodness, now I understand all this, and decide whether you'd like to use a price leader yourself as a competitive advantage. Let's go.
I'm Jeannie Savage, the Strategic Bookkeeper. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer and coach. After 13 years in practice and after scaling into a lifestyle business where I could choose my own adventure, I'm sharing my secrets to success, my secret sauce recipe on how to build a thriving practice, delight your clients and ultimately live your dream on your terms. This podcast is a companion to my book. In each weekly episode, I'll share strategies for scaling and success. This is your time to shine, to step up, to become a strategic bookkeeper and enjoy all the benefits it brings to you and your clients. Let's get stuck into today's topic. So I have experimented with using price leaders in my marketing collateral, and in today's podcast I'd like to explore this topic with you. So first of all, let's have a look at what a price leader is. So I remember quite vividly my first exposure to a price leader. Funny the things that we remember. So I was about 16 years old and my parents were back in the electrical retail game and I wanted to buy a shaver. And I noticed that we had one in the cabinet in the shop for $19.95. Now, as you can imagine, because I was family as well as staff, if I wanted to buy something, I could buy it at a wholesale value at a discount. And so I thought, okay, it's $19.95, I'll get it cheaper. So I asked my mother how much the shaver would cost me, to which she replied $20, 5 cents more. She then went on to explain that this was a price leader, which does go by some other names, but that's the label I'm giving it. So a price leader in retail is a great product in its own right, but it is usually at the bottom end of a particular category, and oftentimes, like in this case, it might be priced with little or no profit. So the idea behind the price leader is that prospective buyers will see the price leader. It might, way back then, it might have been in a catalogue. These days it might be on your website. They're going to come into the store, and while they may decide to buy the price leader, more often than not, they will buy a higher quality product in that category. Okay, and this isn't trickery. This is actually just like a normal way for any business to be competitive. So as I said, the price leader in its own right in retail should be a really great product, okay, but when the person is in the store, they get to self-assess whether they want to buy a product in that category that is a higher quality. So in this case, I had the privilege of spending 5 cents more than the general public. And even though I wanted a particular colour, my mother insisted that I get the colour that wasn't selling. As I say in my book, the toughest bosses I ever had. She didn't shout me that $20 shaver. But look at the lesson I learned that I am still able to use today in a completely different business, which I'm going to explain a bit more about now. Now, the way a price leader works in retail, as you can imagine, is a bit different to how it works in the bookkeeping world, but it can still work, and actually we see price leaders in the bookkeeping world quite regularly. So you know when you see those websites from accountants or bookkeepers and they advertise bookkeeping from $20 an hour or bookkeeping from $20 a week or something like that. And in fact, I often see bookkeepers on forums, online, distressed and concerned about these cheap offers, which is fair enough and rightly so. But guess what? They are really just price leaders. Now, just like with all sales and marketing, I do not advocate for leaving your values and ethics at the door or for marketing that really does our image, our industry damage on the whole. But if you stay tuned, I'm going to explain how you can use a price leader in a really genuine way that will give you the opportunity to talk to more people, which in turn will give you the opportunity to convert more prospective clients into actual clients, which all adds up to helping more people. You may have heard me say that bookkeepers are solvers more than sellers, and a price leader is yet another way to gain opportunities to solve more problems, okay? Because sometimes it's about getting the opportunity to overcome an objection. It's about getting the opportunity to show someone your value rather than having them buy into these cheap offers from other bookkeepers and competitors when you would like an opportunity to show your value. Now, having a price leader is not essential for you to win business, but they do work really well and they're definitely an option that I would like to educate you around. So when I have used a price leader in my business and my advertising, it's always been a genuine offer, okay? Because you know I always have my values intact. And many of the price leaders that you are currently seeing are genuine offers as well, which I'm going to explain now. So one product that we offer from time to time, usually to just existing VIP clients, is to handle a second accounting file, which might be something that just has a holding entity, right? So like a commercial premises that is charging the main trading business for rent. So almost nothing's happening in the file and they're a VIP client already. So I might say, you know what, for that file, I'll just charge you $100 a month and we'll take care of things, right? So it means that I'm not making tons and tons of profit. I'm still profitable on that job. But they're a VIP client who's paying me well for the other trading entity, so I'm going to offer them that. So now if I break down that product, which is, say, $99 a month, that breaks down to roughly $23 a week. So if I was to advertise bookkeeping from $23 a week on my website, then I'm using the lowest value product in a category in my business as a price leader, right? So you can see this is a category that I use because, oh my goodness, I will never advocate for lying. And I don't think you're going to see many people out there lying. People are intrinsically good. This is more about you understanding, I guess, the nuts and bolts of sales and marketing and strategies and things like that, which again are actually there to give you more opportunities to have more discussions and to have the opportunity to show your value so that your market and prospective clients can decide if they'd like to choose you over your competitors without price as a priority. So the price leaders that you've seen already probably work in a similar way, yeah? Now, you're a bookkeeper, you can do the maths. No practice is really going to be able to sustain bookkeeping at $20 an hour and make a profit. But they may have a product in a category that they could charge $20 an hour for, that they are charging $20 an hour for. So, for example, it might be like an admin-related task for which they're paying $6 an hour for cheap overseas labour. And this podcast is not intended to get into the ethics of that, okay, and cheap overseas labour. And actually, I do not advocate for advertising bookkeeping at $20 an hour, okay? It's not something I've ever done as a price leader because, to be honest, I think that really doesn't make sense, and I think it probably does our industry on the whole damage. Okay, so I'm not condoning all the price leaders used out there. I'm explaining what a price leader is and how you can use it with, once again, your values and your ethics intact to be competitive. Okay? Ultimately, to summarize that again, just because one or two bad eggs are using price leaders in a way that's not particularly ethical and probably damaging to our industry doesn't mean that you can't use them in an ethical way to be competitive. Now, in fact, post-pandemic, I have identified that things have changed far more rapidly. I have identified that there is a need to make changes to our strategies around pricing in order to avoid losing the opportunity to convey our value to prospective clients. Okay, everything changed when the pandemic hit. While digesting post-pandemic behavioural changes in consumers in 2021-22, and educating myself around what had happened and how that impacts our industry in terms of sales and marketing, I had a light bulb moment where I strategized and adapted to what all these changes that had happened so much more rapidly than ever before. And I future-proofed, all relating to what I saw was kind of, I might call them price wars coming through in the industry, okay, which we can't bury our head in the sand with anything. We have got to look at how we can adapt, once again, with our values intact, okay? And what I came up with, I feel, was completely game-changing. Simple, but game-changing. And simple doesn't mean easy. Simple just means simple strategy. I love simple, love simplifying, but it doesn't mean easy. But I came up with something really, really game-changing. Now, in terms of taking action around what we've talked about today, you can use price leaders in your marketing collateral and on your website and in your social media, etc., all your marketing collateral, based on what I've told you today, okay, and based on my stories and my examples. In my program, the Strategic Bookkeeper Transformation Program, I am unlocking an additional secret which came from that light bulb moment late in 2022. I believe it is so game-changing in terms of competitive advantage, simple, simple to implement, but game-changing, that I have decided to keep it in the vault for members of my program. So while I share tons and tons of game-changing strategies freely on this podcast, and you've got my book to read, and use as a how-to guide, in the program we go deeper and deeper. Right? And so, if you do elect to join my tribe as part of my Strategic Bookkeeper program, you'll unlock a vault of education, assets, strategies, incredible competitive advantage, and support. Okay? And when I did have that light bulb moment, it's kind of testament to how things are always changing and evolving, and I'm always changing and evolving, but what I do is, as I look at what was working before that isn't working as well now and the changing landscape of our industry, I'm able to take these fresh new strategies into the program, because the program isn't static, right? It's a membership program. You're in there working with me, you're future-proofing, you're adapting, you're doing better, you're staying ahead of the pack. You're the most competitive in the pack, okay? So you can probably hear my passion. I've priced this program for every bookkeeper, and it comes with a 100% money back guarantee, which is easy. It is so easy to get your money back on that program in no time. So that was easy. Now, if you'd like to know more about the program or apply to join, I'll make sure that there's a link in the show notes. But otherwise, you've got tons of stuff today that you can use to think about price leaders. I really hope that demystifying those cheap offers that you've seen gives you some comfort that, you know, nobody can offer bookkeeping in Australia for $20 an hour and really make a profit. They are using it as a way to lead people in. So think of that phrase, price leader, yeah? They're leading people into their brand sphere. those people are making an inquiry, and then they've got the opportunity to do the needs analysis and convey their value, etc. Okay? So there is nothing wrong with you looking at that strategy for your business as well. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a question you'd like answered on my podcast, please email me, hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Did you know we have a private Facebook group called the Strategic Bookkeeper's Way? There you'll find bookkeepers just like you on the same journey where you can ask questions and get support. You can find more resources and how to work with me at thestrategicbookkeeper.global. All the links are in the show notes. Have a prosperous week, and I'll see you in the next episode.